Hey guys, today we're going to make some stuffed chicken breast. This is better than Ruth Chris or any other restaurant. It's easy and it's simply amazing. I love this recipe. Let's go ahead and get cooking. I have a hot cast iron skillet, and to this I'm going to be adding 2 strips of bacon that I went ahead and sliced up. Now I'm going to cook this until that fat renders and the bacon begins to get a little bit crispy. This will take a few minutes, about 3 minutes or so. To this, I'm going to add some small chopped onion. You want it to be small so that it can incorporate really well into your filling, and it's also going to caramelize a little bit faster. I cook this for about 3 minutes and then I season it. To this, I'm going to put some salt, some pepper, some thyme, a little bit of Cajun seasoning, a little salt-free Cajun seasoning that is, and I'm going to mix everything well. Of course, I'm going to throw in some garlic, but I'm going to do it near the end because I don't want it to burn. You could add some spinach to this, but y'all, ain't even going to play like I'm going to be healthy today, so I'm going to just leave it out, all right? Now, I am going to chop up 2 spring onions. I won't use all of this. I'll just use a little bit inside of the cream cheese filling. This block of cream cheese has been sitting out for a few hours to get soft. If you don't let it soften, Chad, you're going to get a little arm workout trying to mix all that together. All right? Now, I'm going to dump in my filling from the cast iron skillet, and I'm going to season this with about 2.5 tablespoons of dry ranch seasoning mix. You ain't even got to get the name brand. Get the store brand. It tastes just as good. And I'm putting in a little bit of that spring onion for some crunch, a little cheddar cheese, and some parmesan cheese as well. And I'm hitting it up with that W sauce. This is really enough stuffing to do about 6 chicken breasts. However, today I'm just going to show you how I do it with 3. You can use this extra stuffing to stuff mushrooms or even salmon, or you can also just save it and put it in a soup. I've done a lot of things with this extra stuffing, but when you're finished, just set it aside and we're going to start working on that chicken. I have 3 large chicken breasts today, and I didn't cut off the fat because chicken breast tends to be dry, so I leave that fat on because this chicken breast need all the help it can get, honey, to not dry out. So you just go ahead and cut yourself a nice little pocket in that chicken breast. Now, you really want to be careful that you do not cut all the way through because you don't want this filling to seep out. You have to just cut it so that it's a little deep pocket, but you can't go through to the other side, okay, or else this filling is going to seep out when you cook it. So that's how I did my pocket, and I'm going to do all 3 that way. Now, I also, even though I didn't cut off the fat, I did cut off like any little bony bits or bloody bits on the chicken. So you can trim up your chicken in that way. Now that my chicken is all ready, I'm going to open up that chicken breast. And y'all, you don't really need to season the inside, but y'all, somebody, the ancestor just said, girl, you got to hit it up with a little something, girl. Okay, so I hit it up with a little white pepper, all right? And I hit it up with a little lemon pepper. All right, and a little bit of onion powder. Now, I definitely don't want to put salt on the inside because that mix is salty enough. All right, and I'm using a little bit of salt-free Cajun on the outside of the chicken breast and rubbing it in. Now, because the meat is so thick on the outside, you can actually put just a little bit of salt on the outside of the chicken breast, because if you don't, then it's going to be bland. But the inside, no. I'm also going to put some of that onion powder on the outside of the chicken breast and a little garlic powder, and I'm going to pat everything in. If you think I'm doing a good job with this recipe so far, please go ahead and give me a like. This helps get my recipes out to more people, and it lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. So please go ahead and smash that like button. Now, our chicken breast is ready, and I'm going to take a little glob of this cream cheese mixture, put it in a little ball, and press it in. I like to sort of manually push it to the back to make sure that stuffing really gets inside of that chicken breast well. I'm going to flatten it so that it's spread out, but I like to keep mine away from the edge so that it does not spill out too much while it's cooking. If you don't press it back, then that cream cheese mixture is really going to seep out while you're cooking. It's just going to get all over the place and be messy. And you know what? Nobody wants to lose the filling in their stuffed chicken breast. Okay? So after I have stuffed all 3 of them, I'm going to take this chicken breast over to the skillet. Now, I left that bacon grease in there, okay, from when we cooked that bacon, because y'all know bacon grease got all that flavor. All right, so do not clean your skillet after you do the bacon and the onion and stuff. And then we're going to throw in some butter, baby. Okay, we're going to let that melt. That's about 2 good tablespoons of butter with bacon grease. And I'm going to use some fresh herbs. This is thyme, sage, and a little bit of rosemary. We're going to season up that butter so well. We're kind of going to use our stem of the rosemary like a little baster. Okay, this is a little tip. Okay, you don't gotta have no no basting brush. You can take a little fresh herb and use that to baste your meats with. Okay, and we're gonna let that season up the butter with a little bit of lemon. I squeeze a little bit of the lemon, and then I let the lemon just saute and season the butter. Now, I left these to get, a crust for about 90 seconds, and then I flipped it over. We are not cooking it all the way through, and you certainly don't want this to get dry. So you're just going to cook it until the crust forms. Of course, we're going to baste our chicken breasts because we want them to stay juicy. So just take that seasoned butter and baste it. Okay, now, while this has been going on, I've had my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And I'm going to let this finish cooking the rest of the way for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, our chicken breast is juicy. And I have served mine with a little sting broccoli because this dish is so rich. You don't need anything heavy. I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye. And join me next time in Kamira's Kitchen.